Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in the last session we have begun the discussion of numericals on Graham's law of diffusion. So in this session also we are going to continue the same concept, that is numericals on Graham's law of diffusion as well as partial pressures. Here to the question. The first one, a cinema hall has equidistant rows 1 meter apart. Okay, there is a cinema hall, it has a rows which are 1 meter apart. Means what is the distance between the rows? It is 1 meter apart. The length of the cinema hall is 287 meter and it has 287 rows. Okay, what is the length of that cinema hall is 287 meter and there are 287 rows present. Okay, well, from one side of cinema hall, laughing gas, that is nitrous oxide, is released, and from the other side, weeping gas, okay, 4-chloro or parachloroacetophenol, C8, its molecular formula is C8H7OCl is released. In which row spectator will be laughing and weeping simultaneously. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಸೈಡ್ ಇಂದ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನೈಟ್ರಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಸೈಡ್ 4-chloro or parachloroacetochloride sorry, acetophenone is given. 4-chloroacetophenone is released. ಎರಡು ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇದೆ. Now what they are asking, say once released these gases diffuse from either side. Okay, well, consider a solution. Say is the length of a cinema hall and how many rows are there? There are 287 rows, so length is 287 meter and 287 rows are present. From one side nitrous oxide is released, from other side parachloroacetophenone is released, that is weeping gas, commonly called weeping gas is released. Now what is the question? In which row? Means you have to think of from both sides, from nitrous oxide side as well as from parachloroacetophenone side. In which row spectator will be laughing and weeping simultaneously? Means we have to find out the row in which both the gases meet, so that whatever the persons sitting there, that spectator is going to laugh as well as weep simultaneously. Okay, well, molecular weight of that parachloroacetophenone, how much? C8, molecular formula we know, C8H7OCl. So if you simplify it, if you go on adding the atomic masses of all these constituents, its molecular weight will be 154.5. Similarly, molecular weight of nitrous oxide N2O, it is 44 gram. Well, according to Graham's law of diffusion, rate of diffusion of nitrous oxide to the rate of diffusion of weeping gas, that is laughing gas to the weeping gas, which is equal to square root of molecular weight of weeping gas to the molecular weight of laughing gas. We know this relation, right? Well, molecular masses we know. Molecular mass of weeping gas is 154.5 divided by molecular mass of nitrous oxide, laughing gas, 44. So if you simplify, it is 1.3.5 and it is 1.87. Means 1.87 is to 1. Means what we know here, if I consider rate of diffusion of nitrous oxide to the rate of diffusion of, say, parachloroacetophenone, just I will write PCl, it will be 1.87 is to 1. Meaning rate of diffusion of nitrous oxide is how many times? 1.87 times. Okay, 1.87 times faster than rate of diffusion of parachloroacetophenone. Okay, if I compare the rate of diffusion of nitrous oxide is more. How many times? 1.87 times than rate of diffusion of parachloroacetophenone. Okay, okay, if I consider the diffusion of that gas, relative diffusion, 1.87 divided by 2.87, total number of moles, into, okay, into 287, it is the, what is the answer we get? If we simplify, it is 187. Similarly, from, if I consider relative diffusion of C8H7OCl, parachloroacetophenone, if we calculate, how much it is? 1 divided by 2.87 into 287. So if you simplify, it is how much? It is the 100th row from parachloroacetophenone. If I consider relative diffusion of the gases, okay, So it will be 1.87 divided by 2.87 into 287, total number of rows. So we get the answer 187th row from nitrous oxide side. Okay, out of, say, how many rows are there? We say total 287 rows are present. If I consider from nitrous oxide side, how many? It is the 187th row, and from acetophenone, parachloroacetophenone side, it is the 100th row, and from this side it is the 187th row. The person sitting at 187th row from nitrous oxide side, or I can say 100th row from, okay, 1 to 100, 100th row from parachloroacetophenone, weeping gas side, is going to laugh and weep simultaneously. Okay, so we say here the spectator from the side nitrous oxide in the 187th row will be laughing and weeping simultaneously, and alternatively we can say the spectator from the side of weeping gas in the 100th row will be laughing and weeping simultaneously. Okay, well, then coming to the next thing, say the total pressure of gaseous mixture of, total pressure they are saying, total pressure of gaseous mixture of 2.8 gram of nitrogen, 3.2 gram of oxygen, 0.5 gram of hydrogen is 4.5 atmosphere. What they are specifying here? Total pressure. Okay, P total how much? It is 4.5 atmosphere. Okay, they are asking calculate the partial pressure of each gas. We have to find out the partial pressure of a gas. So here, according to the definition, partial pressure of a, say, partial pressure, just I will mention pp, partial pressure of a given mass of a gas is directly proportional to its mole fraction. Okay, means how we calculate the mole fractions here? Number of moles of a gas to the n total number of moles, and this partial pressure, this proportionality symbol, say pp, is proportional to mole fraction of a gas. That mole fraction of gas can be calculated by knowing the number of moles of a gas to the total number of moles. Further, that to remove this proportionality symbol, what we are placing? We are placing total pressure. Means that mole fraction is multiplied by total pressure. Means chi z into P total is the relation. Partial pressure of a gas will be equal to product of mole fraction of gas into its total pressure. Means here, to calculate the partial pressure of individual gases, what we should know? We should know the number of moles. The data we have to arrive at, first we have to arrive at number of moles. Second thing, total number of moles. Total number of moles. Then we have to, third, we have to think of mole fraction of a gases, and thereafter we can easily arrive at the answer, partial pressure of a gases. Okay, so to calculate the partial pressure, we have to first find out the number of moles, then total number of moles, thereafter mole fraction, or else just we use this data in the formula. P total, partial pressure of a gas, is equal to mole fraction of a gas into total pressure. So total pressure is given how much? 4.5 atmosphere. Total pressure li helidare, how much? It is the 4.5 atmosphere. Therefore, first we have to think of find out the number of moles of a individual gases. Further, how we get this number of moles? Number of moles can be calculated by knowing weight divided by its molecular weight or molecular mass. Yes or no? Weight divided by molecular mass gives the number of moles. Well, for nitrogen, weight is given 2.8 gram of nitrogen. Means what is the molecular weight of nitrogen? It is the 28, right? 14 plus 14. Further, for oxygen, weight is given 3.2 gram of oxygen. O2 means what is the molecular weight? It is 32 gram is the molecular weight of O2. 0.5 gram weight of hydrogen is 0.5 gram. And what about molecular mass? It is the 2 gram. H2, 1 plus 1, 2 gram. So with the help of this data, first we have to find out what? We have to find out the number of moles of individual gases. Okay, well, say here, when you look at the solutions, first you have to find out what? You have to find out the number of moles of individual gases. So what is the formula? Mass divided by molar mass. So number of moles of nitrogen is equal to, okay, N2, N of N2, number of moles of nitrogen, which is equal to what? Weight 2.8, that is mass of nitrogen given is 2.8 divided by its molecular mass. How much? 28. So it will be how much? 0.1 mole. Similarly, moles of oxygen, number of moles of oxygen, NO2, which is equal to weight, how much? 3.2 gram, and its molecular mass 32. 3.2 divided by 32, again it is 0.1 mole. So number of moles of nitrogen is 0.1 mole and that of oxygen is also 0.1 mole. Further, number of moles of hydrogen, NH2, is equal to how much? Weight is 0.5 gram divided by 2. So answer is 0.25 mole. We got number of moles of all the gases, nitrogen, oxygen and hydrogen. Nitrogen 0.1 mole, oxygen 0.1 mole and hydrogen is 0.25 mole. Okay. Now total number of moles, which is equal to sum of all those. So 0.1 plus 0.25, it is 0.45. It is the total number of moles. Okay. Further, partial pressure of a gas, which is equal to number of moles of gas divided by total number of moles into total pressure. So what is the formula here to calculate the partial pressure? Number of moles of a gas to the total number of moles. It is the mole fraction. So this quantity is nothing but Hg. Okay, mole fraction of a gas. Number of moles of gas to the total number of moles gives its a mole fraction into total pressure. Okay, well, so Pn2, partial pressure of nitrogen, is equal to, okay, 0.1, number of moles of nitrogen is 0.1 divided by total number of moles, how much? 0.45 into total pressure 4.5 atmosphere. So if you simplify, it will be 1 atmosphere. What it is? Partial pressure of nitrogen is 1 atmosphere. Well, similarly, partial pressure of oxygen, which is equal to number of moles of oxygen, how much? 0.1 divided by total number of moles 0.45 into total pressure 4.5. So if you simplify again, partial pressure of oxygen is equal to how much? 1 atmosphere. Then partial pressure of hydrogen, pH2, which is equal to number of moles of hydrogen, how much? 0.25 divided by total number of moles, how much? 0.45 into total pressure 4.5. So if we simplify, it is how much? 2.5 atmosphere. So it is the partial pressure of nitrogen, oxygen and hydrogen. Okay, well, I hope you got this. Well, coming to the next one, equal molecules nitrogen and oxygen are kept in a container at pressure P. Okay, equal molecules of nitrogen and oxygen, say X. X is the quantity of nitrogen and okay, X molecules of nitrogen and oxygen are kept in a container at pressure, how much? Pressure P. Okay, the corresponding pressure is P. Well, if nitrogen, what they are saying, if nitrogen is removed from the system, okay, if nitrogen is removed from the system, then what will be the pressure of container? Say there is a container, it is filled with what? X molecules of nitrogen and X molecules of oxygen gas. Okay, what is the total number of moles? 2x is the total number of molecules. Now, how the partial pressure is related to total number of moles, or I can say pressure is related to total number of moles? We know that it is directly proportional. Larger the number of molecules, more collisions, so pressure will be more. Less number of molecules, less collision, so pressure will be less. Both are directly proportional, right? So here, equal number of molecules, so pressure, total pressure depends on what? Number of molecules. Equal number of molecules of nitrogen and oxygen are taken in a container, are kept in a container with pressure P. Okay, if nitrogen is removed, means what? Minus X, number of molecules of nitrogen is removed, what is the remaining? Okay, remaining molecules will be X. Earlier it is 2X. Now nitrogen, if nitrogen is removed, remaining will be X molecules remain. X molecules of oxygen remain. Now what happens to the pressure? What happens to the pressure means pressure decreases to half. Are you agree with this? Because pressure is directly proportional to number of gaseous molecules. If number of gaseous molecules are reduced by half, pressure also reduces by half. Okay, what they are asking here, what will be the pressure of the container? Okay, well, we look for the options here. Option 1, okay, option 1, what it is, P remains same, meaning option B 2P means doubles, pressure doubles. Option C, P by 2 means pressure reduces to half. Option D, P by 4 means pressure reduces by factor 4, reduces 1/4 of the P. So what is the answer here? Answer is C, P by 2, pressure reduces to half. Okay, because total pressure, which is equal to partial pressure of nitrogen plus partial pressure of oxygen. If nitrogen molecules are removed, what happens to the partial pressure? It becomes, this quantity becomes equal to 0. So I can say here total pressure reduces by half. So answer is C. Okay, well, coming to the next one. So Dalton's law of partial pressure is not applicable to, ಈಗ ನಾವು Dalton's law of partial pressure ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ total pressure is equal to P total. Okay, P total is equal to sum of the partial pressure of individual gases. Okay, according to Dalton's law of partial pressure, total pressure which is equal to sum of the partial pressure of individual gases. Now here the criteria, or I can say condition for this Dalton's law is, whatever the individual gases we say here, that gaseous molecules should not undergo any kind of chemical combinations, then only law is applicable. The gaseous molecules do not undergo either association, dissociation, or any kind of chemical combinations. Meaning the gaseous molecules, they just remain together but they won't interact with one another. Okay, means chemically they should not interact with one another. Then only total pressure will be equal to sum of the partial pressure of individual gases. Meaning here Dalton's law of partial pressure is not applicable. When it is not applicable? When if the gaseous molecules undergo dissociation, association, or if they undergo any kind of chemical reactions, then Dalton's law of partial pressure is not applicable. Okay, well, we look for the combination of gases, then we decide where it is not applicable. Now consider mixture of hydrogen and nitrogen. Second, mixture of hydrogen and chlorine. Third, mixture of hydrogen and carbon dioxide. And fourth, none. So here the answer is B, mixture of, say answer is B. Why we are saying is because hydrogen and chlorine, okay, hydrogen and chlorine, they reacts H2 plus Cl2. If both the gases are kept together in presence of sunlight, there will be formation of hydrochloric acid. Means they interact with one another. In such case, it is that Dalton's law of partial pressure is not applicable. Okay, since hydrogen and chlorine reacts instantaneously to give hydrogen chloride, therefore the Dalton's law of partial pressure is not applicable in this case. What about other two? As they won't interact, they remains intact, therefore law is applicable for the mixture of hydrogen and nitrogen as well as hydrogen and carbon dioxide. Okay, well, next question. Equal volume of all gases under same conditions of temperature and pressure contains equal number of, is the statement for what? Avogadro's law. You just recall it. Equal volume of all gases under same conditions of temperature and pressure contains equal number of S atoms, B molecules or moles, C radicals, D compound atoms. Yes, what is the answer? It is the B, molecules, or I can say moles. Okay, it is the Avogadro. Well, next question. Two balloons are fitted with equal moles of hydrogen and helium. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಬಲೂನ್ ಇದೆ, Two balloons are fitted with equal moles of hydrogen and helium. Which balloon will contract first if hole of same size are made in those balloons? Now what they are asking, there are two balloons. Let's consider is the one balloon. This is the another balloon. The mouth of the balloon is tight. One is filled with hydrogen gas, another one is filled with helium gas. Okay. Fitted, say two balloons are fitted with equal moles of whatever the number of moles here taken is same, fitted with equal moles of hydrogen and helium. Which balloon will contract first if holes of same size are made in them? If a hole is made, say if there are hole is made on both the balloons of same size, consider it what it is, hole is nothing but orifice. Okay, small hole. So when orifices are made, what happens? Gas escapes from high pressure to atmosphere, that is low pressure. Idu namge gottide. It is referred as a effusion. Now here rate of effusion or rate of diffusion RH2 say is inversely proportional to square root of its molecular weight. Yes or no? We know this concept. Means smaller the molecular weight, rate of effusion will be high. Larger the molecular weight, lesser is the rate of effusion. Now here there are two gases. What are those? Helium and hydrogen. If I consider rate of effusion of hydrogen as well as helium, which will be more? Rate of effusion of hydrogen will be obviously more compared to rate of effusion of helium. Why? It is because of its molecular mass. For H2 gas, it is the 2, but what about helium? It is the 4. Molecular mass is more, so rate of effusion is less on comparison. So same question, what they are asking here, which balloon will contract first? Means if the rate of effusion is high, that balloon contract first compared to other. Okay, say look at the solutions here. The balloon is filled with hydrogen gas will contract first. Okay, yakandre RH2 to the R helium, rate of effusion of hydrogen to that of helium, which is equal to square root of molecular mass of helium to the molecular mass of hydrogen. As molecular mass of hydrogen is 2 and that of helium is 4, therefore smaller the molecular mass, greater is the rate of effusion. On that concept, we are saying the balloon is filled with hydrogen gas will contract first. Okay. Well, coming to the next one, a bottle of dry ammonia and another bottle of dry HCl connected through a long tube are opened simultaneously at both ends of the tube. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, there are two bottles, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಬಾಟಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, one bottle, consider is the one bottle, is the another bottle. One bottle is filled with ammonia and other bottle is filled with the hydrochloric acid gas, HCl gas. Okay, well, a bottle of dry ammonia and another bottle of dry HCl are connected through a long tube are opened simultaneously at both ends of the tube. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ನಾಕ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. Say there is a knob by which we can open and close the bottles. So both the bottles are connected, the bottle containing dry ammonia and bottle containing hydrochloric acid, both are connected with the long tube, and if these knobs are opened simultaneously, both the knobs are opened simultaneously. So once opened, what they are asking, the white ring of ammonium chloride first formed will be, andre ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, if I consider the reaction, say ammonia NH3 plus hydrochloric acid, when they meet with each other, there will be formation of a white fumes of ammonium chloride. That's what they are specifying. the white ring of ammonium chloride first formed will be, means they are asking on which side, is it towards ammonia bottle or towards hydrochloric acid bottle, they are saying. Again same question here, rate of diffusion of ammonia to the rate of diffusion of hydrochloric acid, which is equal to square root of molecular mass of HCl divided by molecular mass of ammonia. Means again, smaller the molecular mass, higher will be the rate of diffusion. So ammonia, NH3, nitrogen 14, right, plus 3 hydrogen. How much it is for ammonia? Molecular mass is 17. What about HCl? For HCl molecular mass is 1 plus, for Cl 35.5, total 36.5. Whose molecular mass is higher? HCl, whose molecular mass is high, meaning higher the molecular mass, rate of diffusion will be less. Means here, out of which both the gases, which gas whose diffusion is high, rate of diffusion of ammonia will be more compared to HCl. Means ammonia moves faster compared to HCl. Then where that ammonium chloride ring is formed, it is towards what? Towards HCl bottle. Consider here is the region where ammonium chloride ring is formed. Okay. So at the center of the tube, near the HCl end, near the ammonia end, throughout the length of a tube, the white ring first formed. Later, say consider later, if both the gases are mixed throughout the entire of a tube, we can see the ring formation, or you can say white color ammonium chloride formation. But at first, where that form, it is the near the HCl end. So answer B, near the HCl end we are going to observe the white ring of ammonium chloride formation. Okay. So with this, I'm going to conclude about this session. Again in the next session we go for other concept. Thank you. Be safe.